Hey everyone, I'm Lymander, and today we're taking a closer look at Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen, and Monsters and Memories. Both of these MMOs draw heavy inspiration from the early 2000s era of EverQuest, but they each approach that nostalgia in very different ways. First, a bit of background. I did play EverQuest a lot back in the early 2000s, though I wasn't a hardcore raider or anything. For me, it was mostly a social experience. Got close to level cap on my main character before our jumping ship to World of Warcraft, so nostalgia is definitely there, but it might hit even harder for you if you were more invested in the EQ scene. Both Pantheon and Monsters and Memories are still in early development. Pantheon is further along, so keep that in mind as we compare their current states. First up, look and feel. Pantheon instantly feels like a throwback when you boot it up, but Monsters and Memories is that throwback. If Pantheon reminds you of EverQuest, Monsters and Memories makes you feel like you're actually back in 1999. The low poly style in Monsters and Memories seems too old school at first, but after spending a weekend with it, I was surprised how quickly it faded into charm. Pantheon's gameplay feels a bit smoother, which is likely due to its more advanced development state. Overall, both games have their own visual and stylistic appeal. This one is just too subjective to call. I'm leaning slightly towards Pantheon myself, but in fairness, I'm going to call this one a tie. Number 2, world design. Both games stick to the no instance zones design, encouraging the old camp and pull playstyle. Pantheon's world feels huge with diverse environments and creatures, but there's a catch. There aren't enough viable camps. The longer respawn timers combined with moderate kill speeds can make camps take up a larger space, so second and third viable camps are further into a zone, making it for a long, dangerous run, or simply just running out of space. Meanwhile, Monsters and Memories World is smaller and less varied so far, but it has a better density of camps and enemies, and that makes getting into the action faster and smoother. Monsters and Memories also has a large city that feels like a main hub. People gravitate to a couple of places in a single city instead of being spread out through multiple cities in multiple zones. Despite Pantheon's broader world design, Monsters and Memories wins this round. Number 3, combat and class design. Pantheon offers a more tactical approach, with systems like Expose, Open Gap, and Off Balance that encourage group synergy. Abilities feel impactful, and most classes have a rotation to manage. Some abilities that are historically reserved for a single class have been shared across multiple classes, which does add flexibility, but chips away at class identity. Monsters and Memories is more of a straight EQ clone. Some classes have a ton of spells, others rely mostly on auto attack. The class designs feel very uneven right now, probably due to their unfinished state. For me, I have to give this one to Pantheon. It feels smoother, more coordinated, and still old school. Number 4, community focus. Both games encourage social play, but they go about it in different ways. Pantheon, most enemies have normal and elite variants, like the standard orcs in the valley versus the elite orcs up on the cliffs. This creates space for both solo and group content, which is great for flexibility, but it can also lead to solo players earning XP and loot more efficiently than some groups, unintentionally discouraging cooperation. Monsters and Memories, by contrast, has no distinction between solo and group mobs. Progression is deliberately slow on your own, and region mechanics encourage grouping up to keep the pace steady. If you're not in a group, you'll definitely feel it. Crafting also plays a role in community interaction. In both games, crafted gear is among the best yet. Both games also have interaction between the crafting skills, like a blacksmith making buttons that are used in tailoring. However, in Pantheon, you can only learn 2 crafting skills, which means you'll have to rely on others to fill in the gaps. While in Monsters and Memories, currently you can pick up every trade skill on one character, which is convenient, but it also undercuts the need to collaborate with other players. I do expect there to be some limitations eventually added to Monsters and Memories, but we'll have to see what they are when they're implemented. This round stays a tie. It really depends on how you like your social interaction. Number 5, playability and access. Here's the practical reality of getting into each game right now. Pantheon is available for purchase through Steam for $40, and once you own it, you have 24/7 access to the game. No limited test windows or scheduled events. It's a seamless experience for those ready to jump in. Monsters and Memories, on the other hand, is currently free to play, but access is far more limited. Testing weekends happen roughly every other month or so, and if you're not following the Discord or socials closely, you'll likely miss it. Both games are planning on a subscription model at launch. I think Pantheon wins here. Even though Monsters and Memories is free and Pantheon costs $40, You can play Pantheon when you have time, not just on their schedule. So, where did we end up? In my opinion, Pantheon edges out the win here, but not by as much as I would have thought. It has more systems in place, smoother gameplay, and most importantly, more consistent playability. But don't count Monsters and Memories out. If it continues developing the way it has, it could easily catch up and even surpass Pantheon. I'll be continuing to follow and play both. Which one should you dive into depends on what you're looking for: nostalgia with a modern twist, or pure nostalgia, raw and unfiltered. Did I miss something? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe. I also stream on Twitch, so feel free to drop in and hang out. Link in the description. Have a good one.